Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
miss.
okay, fine. So you just have to write the answers for these, and try that you don't refer the books at that time. Just if you want to see, if you want to read, just read the chapter in one go, and after that you attempt these answers. Okay, right? So if this is done, then I think we did blood group last time, and for that we have these universal donor and receiver, how they are donating, how it has to be received. I think that flowchart is clear to you, that O can give to everybody, and the one who can receive from everybody is AB. Okay, and that's why they are classified as a universal donor and universal receiver. And this particular chart is with respect to RBC. What we are drawing over here is all these things is with respect to the red blood cells. Okay, so as you know, there are so many components of the bloods, like plasma is there, then you have WBC, you have platelets. There are different types of the components are present in the blood. So if we talk about like universal donor and universal receiver, then it is with respect to only RBC. Yeah, I'm
Today
just
you will
taking.
do. Ma'am, you told today you will do nervous system.
Yeah, yeah, we will do this. Do that also. Just wait for it.
Miss,
Okay.
miss, in our chapter there is heart-related conditions, right?
Yeah, conditions related to heart. That is what I said, because we did them very fast in the last chapter. Just that's why I'm revising it. Okay, so this is what the blood group, if we talk about donor and receiver, just do understand. Okay, so and we did something about RH also, that is rhesus protein, and if it is present with your blood group, that means if you have a type A blood group, and if it is this particular protein is also present on the RBC, then your blood group becomes positive, and if it is absent, then your blood group becomes negative. Okay, so that is how A positive, B positive, or O negative, AB negative you are having. So uh, uh, you can understand this part. And another thing regarding the blood group, if you uh, read something, if you are going for some other reference books also, in that you can find the chart with respect to if father is having a blood group, if mother is having a blood group, then what will be the blood group of a child. That type of things you can also read them. Okay, that is for your information. And later at the end of the chapter is the conditions of the heart, that how the heart is responding to the uh, your behavior, how it is responding to your daily routine. So you have so many conditions with respect to heart, which we did at the last. That is palpitation, hypertension, then heart attack, cardiac arrest. That is what we did. So, just a quick revision for this is needed because uh, this it can give you a lot of questions with respect to this. That first is palpitation. It is nothing but the your heartbeat, because some people are facing the situation where they cannot have the uh, uh, constant heartbeat. They get tensed, they get shocked, they get anxious, and in any of these conditions, their heartbeat just shoot up. It is beating very fast, and it is not a good thing. Sometimes it is okay if you are running, then your heartbeat definitely will just catch up the speed, but it will get normalized after some time. But if it is happening due to anxiety, if it is happening due to tension, if it is happening due to shock, then that condition of heart is not good. Okay, it can cause damage to the blood vessels, because if heart is pumping the blood with so much of pressure, that it then it can cause the damage to the blood vessels. And if it causes damage to the blood vessel, now listen, why it is it should be understood that if a heart is beating very fast, then I will write down the fresh one over here, that if it is beating very fast, okay, very fast, then the blood flow is having high pressure. Okay, with so much, if that means if your heart is pumping the blood and if it is beating with a fast speed, then the blood vessel which is nearest to, or which is taking the blood from the heart, it will get damaged inside, because that much of pressure it can't bear. So inside it will get damaged suddenly. Okay, the tissues will get damaged. And as we know that blood is flowing through this particular vessel, and if here damage is done, then the blood have platelets. These platelets, what they will do, they will start repairing these damage. Okay, they will start repairing these damage. They will repair it. And when they are repairing it, I think you must be aware that whenever you have scratch on your skin, or you just fell down, or you just get a little bit of a small accident at your house, and suddenly you get a good uh, type of scratch on your skin, then what happens? If blood comes out, after the blood stops, then that area will get dried up on its own. Then you get a small, a very thin layer above it. After that, a hard layer will be seen. If you see after within 24 hours, a brown hard covering like layer must be seen. And once that is formed, it will be there till your skin gets healed up. Okay, so that is what is happening over inside the blood vessels also. If these platelets will start repairing these damage, then the hard covering will be covered, will cover this area, this region. And if this much part of this blood vessel gets hardened up, it has to be flexible, it has to be soft. But if suppose if this much area gets hardened up, then what will happen? If the blood is flowing through this vessel, and it will see that this type of hardness is there, it will again damage it, and re-damaging will happen, and re-repairing will happen, and that will lead to the very deep type of if you say damage to that blood vessel, and that can lead to the non-functioning malfunctioning of the blood vessels also. Is it clear to you? That's why beating of the heart should be controlled. It should not be just because of the shock, anxiety. It should not be that it should be controlled, and it should not be left like that for that situation. Okay, so that is what the heartbeat is. Then we did hypertension, and I think you are much more aware of the high blood pressure word, high BP. Okay, and if you have somebody who is suffering from that, you must have seen them that they have to take a pill every morning at the time of breakfast, or every night they have to take a pill because of high blood pressure, so that the blood pressure can be kept controlled. They have the drugs inside those pills which can control the pressure of the blood. And if the pressure of the blood shoots up, then what happens that the person, because of high blood pressure, okay, the person becomes very much uh, sensitive or spontaneous. Suddenly he may get angry, he may start shouting, suddenly the person may get out of control of his emotions. So that is what can happen with the high blood pressure patient. Okay, and they will respire heavily, they will start sweating because of the because they got angry so much. Okay, so that is what the high blood pressure is. And then we did heart attack and cardiac arrest. I think I must have told you that both the conditions are different. For normal people, everything is heart attack. Okay, for normal person who doesn't know the biology, heart attack and cardiac arrest are nothing but only one word they know, that is heart attack. But for us, we should know that heart attack is different and cardiac arrest is different. I think I must have told you this.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so a heart attack means the blood flow to the heart stops, and cardiac arrest is blood flow from the heart to the body stops. Okay, that is what the difference is for the heart attack and cardiac arrest. But the symptoms may seems to be similar. By looking at the person, you can't say that he is undergoing cardiac arrest or he is having a heart attack, because same thing happens. They don't breathe, they can't breathe easily, they sweating, heavy sweating will be there, and suddenly they can become unconscious also. Okay, so that is what the heart attack and cardiac arrest can be, that is how it can be said. But just after, only the doctor can say that yes, it is a cardiac arrest or a heart attack. Okay, but by while seeing the reports, if you have the report with you, then you can read it if it is written heart attack or cardiac arrest. So you can know the difference between them. And I think there is one more word with this chapter, is that pacemaker. Okay, as we know, we studied about the node, that cytoarterial node, okay, SA node, which gives the electric impulse. It provides the electric impulse to the heart. Okay, it provides a spark. It provides the electricity to the heart, and if that
Ma'am,
node,
it makes our heart beat faster.
it actually it doesn't allow, it doesn't makes the heartbeat faster. It maintains the rhythm of your heart, because uh, uh, when the heart is working mechanically, okay, it is pumping the blood. uh, that process is the complete the mechanical one, when it is pumping the blood, when it is draining the blood, when it is outtaking the blood, okay, so everything is completely the mechanical process. But to keep that mechanism working, you need a little bit of electricity with it, and that electric power comes with due to this SA node. Okay, and this node, when it provides it is providing a very little bit amount of electric energy, and that energy will just keep the heart in the rhythm, and it will help in keeping the uh, hard to work mechanically smoothly. Okay, and that is how, uh, suppose suddenly this tissue of your heart gets damaged or it is not working, then you have a small chip. Pacemaker is nothing but a small chip, just like your SIM cards. Okay, it's a small chip is there that you can just doctor what the doctors do, especially if this node is not working, then they will take this artificial chip and they will place it on the where your node is there, along just nearby that place. They will place this chip, and it will be working instead of SA node. So artificially this chip will be placed here. So I think your generation must not be aware of this particular pacemaker, but if you uh, if you read the content about this, then you will understand that this once this pacemaker is has previously, when old in the olden time when it was placed, then it is having a small battery, and it has to be charged because battery should not get down. Okay, so there are nowadays it is completely smart technologies there. So this is not the case. Once it is this pacemaker is placed inside your body, then nothing can happen to it. It will work till you die. Okay, but previously when it in the olden times, if there may be the possibility that it may get discharged also. So there are many of the other things were there to keep it charged. Then these, if the person who is having a pacemaker inside the body, then if they go through this security check, I think you must be knowing about the machines on in the malls or that airports, the one electric gate is there through which you have to pass, and the person who is having a pacemaker inside their body, if they pass through it, then that will make a different sound, that something is there inside the body. Okay, so then they have to keep the paper with them that they have the artificial pacemaker inside their body. So that is how this pacemaker is available in medical technology, that can keep then just give the current to your heart to make your heart run. Okay, so because I think you must have heard or read that once the person dies, okay, but heart, if heart transplant can be done because the beating of heart doesn't stops. Okay, it takes time. If some person who organ donation you must have heard. Okay, so if you want to donate your heart once you die, then what the doctors will do, they will just attach the artificial pacemaker to the person who dies and keep the heart just beating continuously so that it can be transplanted in the patient who requires it, and till then that particular heart will just keep on working outside the body. Okay, so that is how the pacemaker are available right now. The nowadays technology is too good for it. Okay, so this is what about the pacemaker, and after this, I think you must have understood what the idea of
Yes,
pacemaker.
ma'am.
You just go through, just have the habit of reading, especially the newspaper. In that, in some newspapers, what happens? They that regarding medical things, or if something is happening regarding this type new technology, there is a certain column for it, and you can read about it, you can know about it. And nowadays, if you don't understand something, you have a phone with you in which you can just google it, type it, and see it what it is saying, that particular news, what they are explaining to you, because there are so many medical terms which may be the possibility that you can't understand, but no need to be in worry. Okay, it's fine if you understand one fourth of it. uh, at least you will be aware of what is going on right now with the technology. Okay, because if in future if you want to be a doctor, then all these things, if you know, then it will be a good sign for you. Okay, so that is what the pacemaker is. And after that, at the end of the chapter, you should know how to keep your heart healthy. uh, Precautions, we will say better, that precautions to be taken to keep your heart healthy. Then definitely what should be avoided and what should be added, that should be clear to you. That means avoid, first of all, junk foods and all that. Avoid foods which are not good for your health. uh, and Because nothing, junk food is nothing but whole process is completely related to the systems. Okay, that means because junk foods are not digested easily, because they are not digested, that means whatever your digestion will suffer. Then once your digestion will suffer, then what happens, whatever the nutrition should be absorbed after the digestion, they will not be complete. And if it is not complete, then your blood will not receive the enough amount of the nutrition. And once the digestion is not proper, then you don't have the proper excretion. And proper excretion is not there, then what is the thing is that the that your blood which is circulating in every system, it will get affected and it will get malnourished. It will get poor with the nutrition chart. And that is why your heart will become unhealthy. It will not be have the capability for the tolerance level will get down. And that is the reason you should avoid. Avoid means that doesn't mean that you don't have to eat. The thing is, don't overeat it. Don't do it regularly. uh, in a month, it is okay to eat it 2 to 3 times, but that is not the thing that you are going to eat it every day. Okay, so that is what we say avoid. Okay, and uh, another thing is that as nowadays our lifestyle doesn't is not like that you go outside, you exercise, you play, or you run, or you cycle. All these things are not being in practice nowadays. So that has to be included, and include high fiber diet. High fiber diet means use fruits. I just do one thing that if you want to keep your heart healthy, eat colorful foods. Colorful food means you should include everything in your diet. It should have pulses, it should have cereals, it should have fruits, it should have milk, it should have curd, everything. That means the uh, plate in which you are having, you should have the variations. Same type of diet is also very much harmful for our body. If you are not having the variations in your diet, that is very difficult. Keep on changing your oil after 2 to 3 months. Same type of oil is very much harmful, just because uh, this is definitely goes for our mothers who are looking for the kitchen, and what they do, they sometimes they reuse the oil the one which is being used. That reuse of the oil is also a very big no for your health, because that oil is definitely going to cause so many of the diseases once it is inside your body. Okay, so because our mothers think financially that don't waste it, use it here or use it there. Okay, because she is very innocent. Okay, and that is why just tell her, but don't teach her. Okay, just let her know that why you should not reuse the oil. Okay, and another thing is that uh, include fibers, include fruits. All these things has to be done. Avoid sitting for a long time. All these things. See, I think you must be aware of all these conditions for the health. If you talk about health, okay. So this is what the precautions you should consider for the heart. Understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Anything from this chapter, if you have gone through it, anything, any word you have not understood?
Miss, page number 61, blood donation and blood bank. Miss, that's what I didn't understood.
Okay, see, but I don't have the book with me right now. You just let me know what you have not understood. I will make you clear.
Miss, blood donation and blood banks.
Blood donations and blood bank. Okay, fine. Blood donations and blood bank. I think blood donation camp you must have seen.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, so what is the happening over there, that they will check your weight, they will ask you, you don't suffer from any type of disease and all that, then they will take your blood and it is given to the blood bank. So what is the procedure actually, what happens with this, that once they take out your blood, okay, suppose you are the donor, okay, so donor just go over there and they can donate the blood. Okay, donor donates the blood. So once the blood is obtained from the donor, then that blood is, I think, in this type of bag, it is being kept. Okay, and see what happens. You must have seen that if the blood comes out of your body, suddenly it gets clot, it gets dried up. Okay, that is the property of the blood. That means when blood is in contact with oxygen, open environment, okay, blood is in contact with air, then it has to be get dried suddenly. So what happens when during the blood donation, when you are donating, okay, it gets this drying up of the blood is called coagulation. It is called coagulation. That means in on our body, if you have a scratch and blood comes out of your skin, then what will happen? Then it will get coagulate over here. Okay, suddenly it get dried up so that blood can stop inside your body. Okay, so that is the property of the blood. But if you are donating and blood is coming out in this bag, then what will happen? It should also coagulate, but it is not coagulating because of presence of one fluid that is called anticoagulant fluid. Okay, that is already present inside this bag, and the blood has to be donated in this bag. Then what happens? The once this donation is done, then it goes to the blood bag. Then what happens? They will remove RBC from this. They will remove WBC from this. They will remove platelets from this. Okay, and then they will remove even the plasma from this. Everything has to be separated. All these are things through which the blood is made. This has to be separated, and this has to be kept separately in the blood bag. Now what happens? Suddenly there are sometimes patients that they require plasma. I think nowadays you must be hearing this plasma therapy is going on in Delhi for the corona and all that. Have you heard about it?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, so sometimes what happens that the patient requires only plasma. It doesn't require the rest of the things. In some patient, only WBC is required. In some patient, only RBC is required. That is how the blood, what the blood bank will do, they will keep it separated, and it everything is, if this is your blood, then your name and your one ID that is given to you, it will be here, and all of them will have the same thing on them, written on their bottles. And if the requirement comes that we need that, suppose if this is A positive, then if the requirement comes from the hospital that we require RBC of the A positive person, we require WBC of the A positive person. In some hospital it will be, we require platelets from A positive person or plasma from A positive person. Then that blood bank, what they will do, they will give you only that much part. They will not give you the whole blood. Okay, so that whole blood is not provided. Whatever is being asked by the doctor, that much only is given by the blood bank. And in return, what you have to do, that means if you are taking up the blood, then definitely you know that you have to give blood in return. That is a rule in the blood bank. Or you have to show your the card. The one who is a regular donor, they have one identity card with them. You have to show them that you have already donated. Then only the blood bank will be giving you the blood on that time. And because it is a case of emergency, when it is being asked by the doctor, then definitely they are going to give you, but they will ask you to donate in return. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And
Yes.
okay, and as you must have seen in the movies that one patient is lying on a bed, with a string connected with a bottle on the top of it and having a blood, and another patient is there who is giving blood to this bottle. That is completely wrong. That is completely impractical. They are showing the fake things. Okay, this is not possible at all in any case. Understood? Fine. So you have understood the blood donation.
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Anything else? Anything else? Anything else to be asked, beta? Nothing? Then shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. And till here, whatever chapters are coming in your exams, they are done, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes,
For boys also, is it okay?
yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So till here, if this is done, then I think we can keep a hold on nervous system. We should go with the disease. Let's take up a little bit lighter chapter after the circulatory system, because I think your exam syllabus is done. Let's don't go for the heavy one. Nervous system is little bit heavier one. So let's go for the disease and the first aid. Okay. This will be a little bit lighter chapter as compared to the nervous system. So we will take up this disease and the first aid. Okay. So do understand this. I think from class 5th, you are reading about this. What do you mean by disease? What do you mean by first aid? Why it is required? And when it is required? First aid. You must have read,
Yes,
or in school, you must be having one session or one class for this, especially for the first aid, that how it should be given. Okay, so uh, let's see about first of all disease. Okay, so if I talk about disease, then it is made up of two words, that without ease. Okay, so dis-ease means, ease means you don't feel good, you don't feel easy, you don't feel comfortable. So without easiness, with difficulties. Okay, that means, so without easiness, when that type of condition arises inside your body, that is called disease. It can be anything. It is not like being malaria or typhoid or something big names you have to take. There may be the possibility that you are having a headache in the morning when you are getting up, and due to that you can't open your eyes properly, and you don't feel like getting up from your bed, you don't feel like reading something or studying something. That is called disease. That means you are not easy right now, your body is not feeling good right now. Okay, there may be like stomach ache. If you are having a cramps in your stomach, then that is also a disease. Okay, and that doesn't mean that if you feel lazy in your bed and you don't want to get up, then you say it's a disease. It's not the case. Okay, but the thing that means that is not normal to your body, like headache, stomach ache, or suddenly you get a cramp in your leg, or any of your muscle. Okay, so any of your muscles, so that type of thing can be named as a disease or labeled as a disease. Okay, so that because when we talk about the word disease, what we say, disease means, oh my god, it's like a big one, malaria, typhoid, or diabetes, or blood pressure, or some anything you take the big one. So that only for others it's like only disease is something like that only. Okay, and for common people, what happens that if you have to go to a doctor, then only that condition is called disease, then only you are ill. If you don't have to go to doctor, then okay, fine, it's okay, it will be done within 2 or 3 days, it will be all good. Okay, so that is what the disease is. Now any uncomfortable situation whatever you are feeling in your body, and which makes you very much uh, disturbed or not comfortable with it, that is called disease. You cannot live with the disease, you cannot live with the headache, you cannot live with stomach ache, you cannot live with the toothache. If you are feeling the pain in your teeth, that is also a very disastrous thing. Okay, so you cannot live with it every time. Once it is there, you need to get treated up, and once you have that treatment, you feel comfortable, then it's fine for you. Otherwise it will disturb uh, your whole day. So that term, it should be understood for the disease. And let's see, when you talk about disease, there are many things are involved with this. That first of all, this if we go for this, is that its cause. Okay, so cause of the disease. And if we talk about the cause, then definitely the if how your body is, you are first of all fit or not, that is a very important thing to be understood. And if we go for something like microorganisms, it is caused by some of the insects, it is caused by some uh, unhygienic condition. All these are classified as a cause. So there may be the cause can be the unhealthy or unfit body. Okay, the cause can be the microorganisms, the cause can be the insects, the cause can be the unhygienic conditions, surroundings. Okay, so see, if we talk about basically the living causes, the one which are living, these like microorganisms and insects, they are called pathogen. Okay, the one which causes the disease, they are called pathogen. They causes the disease, they are responsible for the disease. Okay, and you may come across the one word, vector. Okay, so vector are the organisms. We are talking about the living things right now. So organisms which are causing the disease, which causes the disease, are called pathogen. And the organisms which carries or transport pathogen are called vectors. Okay, so do understand the difference between them. pathogens are the organisms which are causing disease, while vector are the organisms which carries the pathogen. Okay, because pathogen cannot travel from one place to another on its own. So it requires a vehicle, and that vehicle is nothing but a vector which can take it from one place to another, or it helps in spreading that particular disease. Understood the difference? Is it clear to you? Is it clear, Vida?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so pathogen and vector are the different. Both of them are organisms. Do understand that? Both of them are organisms, living organisms. They can be micro, they can be macro. Okay, but the thing is, the one which is causing the disease and the another one is carrying that causal organism to the particular place. That's why it is called vector. So these terminology you should know, and uh, if this is understood, then you have another thing is that types of diseases. Okay, so you have types also. In that, see, when you study the type, the classification of the disease uh, is based on, suppose if I say there are so many disease, they are called viral infections. I think you must have heard about that. Sometimes you catch flu and suddenly you got a fever, and suddenly everything was good, but suddenly you got the fever, suddenly you got the sneezing, and your throat is being infected, and you go to the doctor, then they say it's nothing but just a mild viral infection. So if it is caused by virus, then it is viral. There may be the possibility that bacterial infection may be there. There may be the possibility of fungal infection. Okay. There may be the possibility of some other type of infection, but viral, bacterial, and fungal are the common one. So if we classify with respect to the causal organism, then disease can be classified as a viral, bacterial, or fungal. Now you can have a different classification also, that if that particular disease is communicable or non-communicable. Okay, so there may be the possibility that type of disease is it spreading or is it not spreading? Like nowadays, COVID is communicable. Okay, it spreads easily in the population. That's why it is classified as communicable. Before COVID, what was that? If in school you must have observed, if the boy, if your classmate who is sitting near to you, he has a severe cold, then after a week you will also get it. After a week, the one who is sitting uh, behind you or in front of you, they also will get caught. Okay, so that is what the difference is. Understood? And non-communicable, if we classify, they are like diabetes. That means if you're somebody who is sitting next to you is a diabetic, and you touch that particular individual, or if you eat with that particular individual, that doesn't mean that you will also catch the diabetes. Got it?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so then that is communicable and non-communicable. That means they are not spreading like anything like this. The way the coronavirus is spreading, you can't come in contact with anybody. If non-communicable diseases, they are not spreading like this. Which means sitting with someone is not the prohibition over there. Then you have another type of classification. There may be there you can classify. Right now, I'm just taking the short one. Okay, so acute and chronic. This type of classification is also there. Okay, so acute and chronic means acute, which is getting treated easily, and after a short span of time it will be finished from your body. Suppose like fever, if we talk about the fever, that means after within 7 days it will be okay for you to be a normal individual. Acute, that means how much time it prevails inside your body. The disease which are classified as the acute one, they live for 10 days or 15 days, and once you are having some the proper type of medicine, then definitely they will be cured from your body, and they will not again infect your body also. Okay, so that is a acute disease, while another one is a chronic one. The chronic one is once it is happened to your body, okay, then you have to suffer with it for the whole life. That is called chronic. Okay, like definitely we will go for diabetes. That means the person will be suffering for the whole life. Now let's say like if we go for blood pressure, if we go for diabetes, if we go for um, cancer, uh, if we go for uh, another diseases like what we can say, if you have arthritis, all these are chronic ones. They are not treated. Once the body suffers with it, they will have to suffer with their whole life. Okay, nowadays some type of cancers can be treated completely, but once the patient is being treated with the cancer, there may be the possibility that they suffer from uh, another type of that means side effects are there. Okay, so that is why it is called chronic, because it takes longer time. Understood this? So this is the classification based on the time duration, how much duration it takes inside the body. Okay, this is how it is spreading, and this is what are the causal organism which they are spreading them. So these are different types of diseases. A communicable and non-communicable, you may have this word also, infectious and non-infectious. This words may come across to you. Okay, and another, if you I think this much of classification is given in your book, not more than this. Type of classification is not there. I'm just introducing you to the words of this books. Okay, and you may come across with different terminologies over here. I think, do you understand about the word metabolism, catabolism, anabolism? I have explained you.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so do understand, if you are starting to read this chapter, then these words will come to you. that as simple as that, do understand that that if your body is metabolically active, okay, because nowadays in TV also it is coming, there are many, even the tea, herbal tea ad is coming, and in that they say it keeps your metabolism perfect, it keeps your metabolism smooth. So if your body metabolism is good, then definitely your immunity will shoot up. Okay, and if your metabolism is not going proper, then your immunity will also slow down. Understood? Is it clear till here?
Yes.
Okay.
Miss, we have school online classes starting from 8 a.m.
Okay, fine, fine. I will not take your much time. uh, just do one thing, just click the picture of this chapter and send it to me on the group after your school gets over. Okay, will it be okay for you?
Yes, Miss. Miss, in the
Okay.
My School group.
Yes, on the WhatsApp, just leave this click this chapter and leave it okay over there. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, and have a good day.